FaithAnn Kinyanjui. I work at the International Budget Partnership, where I support our capacity building work. Yeah.
What is the role of barazas and harambes in the cooperatives' role in the social accountability phase?
So barazas, harambes, and cooperatives are really some of the traditional means of social accountability that were taking place when you look at a while back, but even currently, when you look at, for instance, chamas, we have these small groups that people convene together and you actually do a project or something and you hold each other accountable. So it's more of what our culture has been, and I would think that should then inform our social accountability initiative. So the things that we are coming up with, the scorecards, the social audits, and how we do that, I feel like the harambes, the cooperatives, how we used to do that, the barazas, and how that still happens even today, should really then inform how we do social accountability, even in these structured ways or innovative ways that we are currently now pursuing. Yeah.
How can modern day citizens take ownership and build now that capability and sustainability of ownership?
First of all, you need to be interested. That is number one. You have to show interest and you have to be concerned with regard to how governments are using your money. It is your money. We pay taxes, we give it through pay or whatever means. So it really has to come from you at the end of the day. Like, it has to start there. Yeah.
Where are we in citizens' understanding of their civil rights, civil duties, and capabilities in terms of ensuring that we undertake social accountability?
Probably still some way to go. We still have some gaps here and there, but hopefully with time, and now with more and more actors coming into the space and collaborations and partnerships, so you have media playing its role, you have civil society actors playing their role, you have government playing a role, you have citizens already doing something with regard to, okay, we have showed up, we are interested in these matters, and we want to know how things happen. So those partnerships and everyone doing something within their capacity, within your individual capacity, organizations within the capacity they have, and we coming together, then I believe that is really a first step. Yeah.
What hinders accessibility of some of the groups, for example, the PWDs, the youth, the women, and such things? What hinders them to accessibility of social accountability?
So you can have accountability initiatives, right? And you can structure them however you want. But how you structure is really important when it comes to ensuring that everyone is included. So taking into account issues of inclusion, you need to already consider that even when you're coming up with this initiative. So for instance, am I holding a convening at a place that is accessible by persons with disability? Am I convening at a time that is convenient for other people? So such things, I think, are the things we need to consider. Yeah.
What are the challenges? The challenge of the government not communicating what it is doing to ensure that people are aware of what is happening in the social accountability space?
So governments and citizens have a social contract. So there's something we expect governments to do. We've given resources in terms of revenue, and then we've given them also power, so in terms of putting them in these positions, and there's something we expect from them, right? And with regard to government, it's simply doing what they are mandated to do. Our laws in Kenya, and if I may be more specific about our public finance management laws, they're very comprehensive, they're very detailed in terms of laying out this is the process that should be undertaken, even the public participation structures, and when they should be undertaken, who should be involved, and all that. So for me, it's simply an issue of doing what you're supposed to be doing, as has been outlined. You don't even need to think about it, but just do it as has been outlined. A big challenge has been with regard to access to information. And if I need to advocate for something, I don't find this information available. For instance, in budget documents, a budget is supposedly being discussed in the assembly, but it is not available in the public domain. I do not know what the assembly is discussing. And transparency is not just so that citizens can say to government, we are seeing what you're doing wrong. It also helps to build trust, because if you show me what you're doing with this money, with public finances, then I am I will trust you a bit more, even when you come to me with new proposals and say you want to do this and this because of that. So for me, I think government just needs to do what they are supposed to do, and this has been clearly outlined, and honor the social contract that exists between government and citizens. Yeah.
So your counterpart Crispin Odur presented about power and philosophy, but for you see that politics is using politicians is a risky way of holding people to account. What do you think about this? Where is the difference? Where do you draw the line between using power and using politicians in terms of holding people on accountability?
I believe we cannot draw the line, and something that we have often reflected about. You can think of, for instance, budgets and the whole process as a technical thing, that people go crunch the numbers, come up with these budget lines, and then bring it to be approved or to be implemented. But budgets in themselves are political tools. So you cannot really separate what is happening on supposedly the technical side with what is happening on the political side, because at the end of the day, according to our laws, these budgets will be approved by politicians. So they might be formulated, prepared by technocrats, but they will be approved by MCAs in the county assembly, approved by members of parliament in the National Assembly. So at the end of the day, I don't think you can separate the two, and it's more about thinking about how do we manage. I don't know if manage is a good word, but how do we manage the two? But for me, I think it's important to remain alive to the fact that even budgets themselves, even these things that we think are technical, even the initiatives that we think is something that we are doing outside of politics, they're really political in nature.
Final question. When can we say that we have a social accountable government? When do you say that now we have a social accountable government?
When budgets are responsive to the needs of citizens.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Tunaona, tunasikia na tutabonga. The voice.